Welcome back, everybody, to the Castlevania Season 2 Watchathon. Yeah, we're picking things up here on the 5th episode. Things are getting kind of spooky. First things first, I think the episode starting off with the final farewell of Gothic is very well justified. It's just, he's gone. See you later. His ashes are to the wind, quite literally.
Well, I like how he does respect...
In his own way.
Yeah, it's, the fact that he didn't just, leave his ashes there, he actually was respectful and let them out to the wind. But I did like the little end where it's like he still has his medallion, and then he just chucks it.
Well, and the way I like to see it too, so there's a little bit of respect there, but also at the same time, his respect is ultimately always to Dracula, and I feel like in his own way, he's getting rid of the ashes so that the castle itself is pure.
Yes.
Yeah. So I do appreciate that touch very much.
Yeah.
And as we're alluding to, Isaac is still wonderful old himself. I really appreciated that he and Hector are kind of having a little heart-to-heart in the woods about a couple of things. And it's kind of intriguing, the conversations they have to each other. Each of them are lying to one another. I don't know, it was a really good Game of Thrones moment. This entire episode is largely very, once again, there's a chunk of this season that's just all political. And it's building up the court and what's going to happen and who's betraying who.
I enjoyed that you really in this moment you get to feel that sense of what each one means to each other, because for Hector, Isaac is kind of while yes, he doesn't care about the human race, it's having Isaac is still holding on to, the part of him that is nurturing. He still has that nurturing identity, and he doesn't necessarily want the entire human race to be gone. He still has part of himself. He still has part of himself.
As he alluded to, he wants cattle, essentially. He wants to turn into little animals themselves. And it's kind of an interesting counterpoint to Isaac, who's the stone cold, as he literally puts it, loves the stones and loves the cold. He can't escape from heat, but he can always put a blanket on.
Well, and for him, Hector is valuable.
Mm-hmm.
He, as we saw in the previous episode, he could have easily just killed him right there and then, if he wanted to.
Well, and I think to him, he still sees Isaac as someone, or Hector, I'm sorry, Isaac sees Hector as someone who is loyal still, just misguided. There's a difference. And as that develops, we see the true results of that later. Very quickly, I just want to also take a moment to really appreciate Isaac and Dracula's dynamic, and to also just shout out how incredibly badass it is for them to just take, 5 minutes just to remind you that Dracula was once a very, very scary individual. You think he's bad now, human race? Man, 40 people offended him in a village. He makes a plan to attack, burns their homesteads out, and then puts them on sticks in front of their families. But Dracula's nice at that time, so he didn't kill the families too.
Yeah.
Consider it. Yeah, that was a fun little scene to watch. And now, tying it back, though, I do appreciate that Camilla's off still doing her own thing. And you know what? I think really this whole episode is all about building up Camilla for what's next.
Yeah.
She's talking to her forces in Brela. She's positioned the chess pieces. She's manipulated everyone she's needed to manipulate. And now we have Hector and her finally being a paired unit, and then the reveal happens.
I'm intrigued because obviously she reveals to Hector that, he was just a pet. She was using him the entire time. Mm-hmm. She didn't care to have him be a partner in what she was going for. He was just some tool to use.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see if that move to reveal that to him was a little bit too early for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as she said, he's implicated now. There's no turning back in her mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Hector's hers, her little pet. Yeah.
But he is still loyal to Dracula. So
Is he?
I mean, he still wants to follow out through what Dracula wants.
Maybe we'll just have to see in the next episode then, eh?
Maybe.
Well, one of the things she also alluded to, Camilla, is that she's also positioned the chess pieces so that she's taking care of the Belmont situation.
Yes.
So they're still
forces.
right. Yeah. They're still hanging out. She's mentioned that Hector has made another, batch of monsters to go kill the Warriors 3, as I like to call them again. And they're still hanging out. There's some fun interplay with Sypha and Alucard. I really love that.
Yeah.
But mainly, I think they were just there to remind you that they're still hanging out and that Sypha's finally figured it out. The secret to locking down Dracula's castle.
Yes.
So that they can attack it, which is a very big, important thing. And shout out to that little Tower of Babel story. I also appreciate that the story is once again reminding you that God's not a friend either, and that Sypha is an enemy of God, as she puts it.
Yeah.
Which is just really fun. It paints the world as gray. It's not, Satan versus God. It's just people doing bad things or good things, depending on how they feel.
Yeah. I also really enjoy that they make a picture of her people and how they're like conspiracy theorists.
Yes.
Pretty much.
She's like, oh yeah, that's how the story goes. That's really what it is.
And Alucard comes up, he's like, that's your thought behind that story?
Interesting. Yeah, interesting. But she could be on the point.
Yeah.
She could be on the point, yeah. So, kind of interesting things there. And then obviously, what did you think about the final moment where you hear the crashes? She's obviously making the joke about God, of course.
Yeah.
But are you ready for what's next?
I mean, we're gonna be seeing her Camilla's forces going at the fearsome three.
Are you guys ready for some action in these next few episodes? I'm just telling you, let's gear up.
Yeah, we still haven't seen the new weapon for Trevor.
You're about to
be used. So
the Morning Star. It's pretty damn cool. So let's get on to that episode and watch him kill some demonic fools, because he's going to show them what's up. Because the sun rises on their face. It's great. Thank you guys for once again watching this episodic Watchathon. Man, Castlevania is so good.
Yes.
Let's get to the next one. See you guys on the next video.
See you soon.